Sawadee Kap, Great White Buddha here. I wanted to do a update on visa. This is actually more for the expats who are already living in Thailand, whereas most of my videos are for people who are thinking about moving to Thailand and what it costs to live here and places to live and stuff like that. But this is specifically for the expats who are already here. So with immigration, if you've been here any period of time at all, you know that it's ever changing, and you know what's true today is not necessarily true tomorrow. The rules change. It's a moving target. It varies from province to province. From what I understand, it even varies from immigration office to immigration office inside the same province. So you know, your mileage may vary, as you know, with everything in Thailand having to do with the government. You never know until you go. So the best advice is to go to your local immigration office and ask them exactly what they need for your type of visa, because the situation is, you know, pretty complex. You're playing a card game and there's like 26 rules, right? So it takes a minute to understand all the rules, and now you show up next week at the same card game and it's different rules. So best thing to do, number one piece of advice, go to the immigration office closest to you, the one that you're going to use to do your immigration work, and ask them, what do I need for this type of visa, and show them your visa. I came into the country on the wrong type of visa. I went to the consulate in Miami, Florida. They gave me a tourist visa, which, if you know anything about the visas, is no good. It's 60 days with one extension and you're gone. And I told the lady I was moving here to retire to live. So anyway, I straightened that out with the help of a visa agency from Chiang Mai, a lady who does visas and who has connections in the banks and in immigration. And that's advice number two, is don't go, try it yourself. Everybody wants to save money. That's why they moved to Thailand. I get it. The cheapest way to do it is to do it yourself, but it also is very frustrating. And if you have the money, pay somebody to help you, a Thai speaker who also speaks English. That's the number two piece of advice. Go to the place that you are going to deal with, ask them what they need, because that's going to be different from the rest of the country. Understand that. Shouldn't be, but it is. And number two is get a hired gun. Hire somebody who understands the process, knows the paperwork, and can walk you through the steps and hold your hand. I was not able to open a bank account in 5 tries here by myself, because I'm cheap, like you, like most expats. You know, I'm watching the pennies. I have the money, but I don't want to spend it. And I tried it by myself 5 times, including 3 times at the institution I wound up using, which is Bank of Bangkok, which I no longer want to use. After a year doing business with them, I'm going to find a different bank for a lot of reasons. But anyway, with the visa situation, having a hired gun just helps. You pay money and you sit back and they'll take care of everything, including opening a bank account, which once again I wasn't able to do on my own. They didn't have the paperwork. You need a letter from your residence, you need a work permit, you need this, I got 5 different answers to why I couldn't open an account, but the bottom line was the result was the same every time. And with her, she goes up, she talks to the manager at Bank of Bangkok, blah, 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 Thai, it gets done. Imagine that. So anyway, the reason I'm making this video today is apparently there's been a change. Again, imagine that. I know you're shocked. And this year, what a lot of expats are hearing from immigration is if you are on the OA visa, right? A lot of people call it the retirement visa. There's actually 3 types of retirement visa. OX, where you got to put 3 million baht in the bank, right? So that's if you're a player, you got money, you're a baller. You can do the OX visa. That's actually good for 5 years. You get 1 renewal, and now you're good for 10. And you only have to update every year instead of 90 days. So if you got the cash, look into an OX visa. And once again, if you never heard of that, that's why you need to talk to an agent, a visa agent that you like and trust. Get referrals from other expats. That's how I found my agent. Don't just pick one out of the phone book or whatever. Make sure you're dealing with somebody who other expats have dealt with and had a good experience and did it legally, because they are definitely cracking down on the illegal visa scams. So there's the OX, and then there's the extension, right? Where once you've gotten the 1 year and put the money in the bank and had the health insurance and all that hoops that we had to jump through, you can just get the extension year after year after year after that. So it's another retirement visa. But I had the first one. I moved to this country in March of last year, just prior to the pandemic. Lucky me. And so I was on the tourist visa, as I mentioned. I got that converted to the non-O, the 90-day where you make border runs. I'm over 50. I had the 800,000 in the bank. I bought insurance. So I transitioned to what they call the non-immigrant OA, which is now the 1 year, what everybody calls the retirement visa. So the way that used to work is you had to have that 800,000 in the bank, in a Thai bank, 3 months prior to, or it was the first time 3 months prior to, and then 3 months after you do your paperwork. So if you started it in January, you'd have to leave it in February, March, April, and then you could take the money out after April, and you could take all the money out and use it, investment, living, whatever. But then 3 months before next January, your renewal period, you'd have to put in that same money or fresh money, or as always, you don't have to put 800,000 baht in the bank. You can prove 65,000 baht a month in income, maybe Social Security or pension coming from your native country, investment properties, however you're doing it. That's another way to do the requirement for money. The government just wants you to prove you're not poor, and that you're not going to use their resources that are for Thai people. Simple enough. So the new rule is you have to leave now 400,000 in, half of your 800,000 baht, all year. You can't take out, your balance can't go below 400,000. And the way immigration being immigration, not to be cynical or anything, but they're not really telling people about that until they go to renew. Right? When you go to renew for me next year, January 2022, wow, what a big surprise. I would wind up saying then, oh, I wish I knew that now to make sure I never dip below the 400,000, right? So that's why I'm putting out this video. Everybody needs to know who's on a non-immigrant OA visa, aka retirement visa. I call it the fat man visa because we're all fat and 50, right? So if you're on that visa, do not let your balance sink below 400,000. Maintain 400,000 baht, which is about 13,000 US right now at the exchange rate. At all times, just leave it in there because you're going to need to prove it. And the other thing is, as you know, if you've been banking here once again for a year, when you get affidavits from your bank, they're only good for 6 months. Well, because of the new 400,000 baht requirement, you have to prove it was there for a whole year. You need to get a 1 year statement. Now, in the country we're from, Australia, Great Britain, America, no problem. You can print a 1 year statement off online from my banks in America, but here, welcome to Thailand, right? They don't do 1 year statements at your local branch. They have to get them from headquarters in Bangkok, right? So you're in Chiang Mai, your chances are your branch, and once again, your mileage may vary. That's a statement I use a lot in Thailand because every bank is different, every office is, your bank, you might use K-Bank or, the Yellow Bank or KTB, and they might say, oh, no problem, Mr. Smith, here you go, here's a year. But for Bank of Bangkok, in these little province branches, they can only issue a 6-month affidavit or statement. It's going to take a week to get the letter from headquarters, which is in Bank of Bangkok. It's in Bangkok. So be aware of that, know that, and then you can plan accordingly. You can leave the 400,000 in. If you don't have 400,000, from what I understand, there's going to be a fine. So now you see where we're going, right? Why nobody's talking about this 400,000 baht? They want to fine you. They want your money. If you lived in Thailand for more than 3 months and you don't understand it's all about money in your relationship with Thailand, I don't know, open your eyes, open your ears. It's about money. It's always about money. So they want to fine you for not having the 400 grand in. That's why I'm doing this video. I hope I save some people some money and aggravation when their renewal comes up. And As far as I know, there's no grandfathering in. There's no, oh, I didn't know about that law. You know, it's a money grab, like a cop stopping you for riding a motorcycle without a helmet or without a motorcycle license. It's designed to put money in the cop's pocket. This is designed to put money in the government's pocket. Period. You know, imagine that. I know you're shocked. I am too. So that's it. I'm going to keep it short. Just wanted to put out that information. Super important that you guys know. If you're on a retirement OA visa, do not go below 400,000 baht in that account, and be prepared to prove that when you do go to get your extension.